See everyone. I just, as I was sort of alluding to, I have a yoga room in the back of my house, and I had everything I wanted to set up back there, but the internet wasn't, I just wasn't getting it strong enough. So I'm here in a very exposed area, and the dogs are in the back and they're whining. So it's not exactly how I wanted this to go, but we have to go with it, right? We have to not resist against what is happening. Is everything okay so far?
There's a little bit of feedback, but I want to make sure. Yeah, mute yourselves as you come in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is start with a blanket. And if you don't have a yoga blanket, a couch blanket, a towel, anything will work. Just go ahead and give it some rolls. Roll it up. And then you're going to lay it down and you're going to lay on it. You're going to lay on it right at your shoulder blades, like your bra strap area. And you're just going to lay all the way back. Your hands can come overhead. And just allow your legs to stretch out. So I'm going to sit up just so I can talk for a moment, but I want everybody to settle down onto their backs. Yeah, and then just take a load off. Maybe close your eyes. Take a nice big breath in and sigh it out. And you're going to just allow yourself to yield. We're all coming from different parts of our days. Maybe this is somebody's midday break from work, or maybe somebody wishes they were at work right now, but wherever you are, just arrive and settle. That's the case always. We always are coming from different points of view, points of our day and our lives when we connect. So maybe you can feel the rib muscles, the intercostal muscles start to stretch, or the expansion of your chest and your upper spine. I recently had a little low back issue flare up. Last week I went to the chiropractor, and this is one of the things he had me do. And it's funny because if you've taken my classes, you know we often do this, lay on the rolled blanket at some point during class. And I love to hear and be reminded of the benefits of yoga from outside of the context, a different context, because it's universal. And he says that even though the issue is in your back, it's very important to open up and extend in your upper back, because what affects one area affects the other. So the spine is like a cord. And isn't that the same with life, particularly what we're going through right now? What affects one affects us all. And it's easy to forget that sometimes and get so focused on our one segmented issue, for me, such as the low back at that moment or your day, and forget that we're all interconnected and what we're doing is affecting us all. Go ahead and just take a couple more big, deep breaths here, filling your ribs, letting it expand. and allowing your body to sink or yield to the ground. Yield is allowing, right? Allowing what is. Oops. From here, go ahead and come up off of the blankets. You're gonna take that out from under you, and you can sit all the way up. And we're going to transfer over onto all fours, tabletop position. And from here, you can maybe even swing your hips side to side, just move your femur bones in the hip socket before we move into cat and cow. And then we're gonna start to press the ground away from you and round your back. Tucking your tailbone, I like to pull the hips back toward the knees and just pause, holding this stretch across your low back, across your shoulders. And then reversing it, go ahead, dropping your belly, pull your chest through, shoulders come down your back and together. So you're pulling the arch into your upper back as much as you can. So pulling your chest through, and then go ahead and reverse it to cat. And try to eke out as much stretch as you can across all of your back. And then go back and forth. And you can move at your own pace. Personally, I like to go really slow and just feel the stretch. And as you get more loose and opened up, you can start pulling your hips all the way back to your heels, making it more of a larger movement. But just really tuning in to what is happening and what you're feeling in the spine and in the muscles around your back. And then from here, come into a cat. Nice big arch, and we're going to take it side to side. So bringing your tailbone and your head off to the right or left and stretching the opposite side body. And then you can go back and forth. Again, here, this is exploring. It's for you to find the stretch within yourself. Maybe that means pulling back a little bit more, or, moving to what you need to find. Just moving your spine, everything around. And then from here, go ahead and walk your hands out in front of you. Drop your chest down. Leave your tailbone up tall. Nice big shoulder opener, chest opener, a big arch of the spine. And then coming back up onto all fours, we're gonna reach the left foot behind you, press down into the ball of your foot, and the heel is pressing away. So you're stretching the calf. Stretching that calf. And then you're gonna keep your right hand down. Right foot swings off the mat for a little bit more support, opening up into a side plank. Rolling your chest open, pulling your shoulder back, and then maybe even taking your hand overhead. Again, exploring where you can feel the stretch, moving to the sensation, and then come back around to all fours. Maybe a quick cat and cow here, moving everything around. Before we move to the other side, left foot goes back. Press the heel away for a nice calf stretch. And then you're gonna plant that foot, opening your right hand up to the ceiling, pulling the shoulder back, taking the hand overhead. And coming back around. From here, we're gonna come up into down dog. I'm just gonna move my camera slightly. So spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, coming into down dog. So take a moment, bend the knee, one at a time. Feel this out. Give yourself a nice generous bend in the knee so you can tilt your tailbone, tilt your pelvis nice and tall, and press your chest back toward your thighs. And then as you can, begin to gently, slowly try to straighten your legs. It's better to have a bent knee with a nice long spine than try to straighten your legs if it causes you to arch your spine or bring your shoulders over your hands. You want that pressing back and up. And from here, just hold your down dog with a couple big breaths. And then you're going to walk your hands back toward your feet, coming into a forward fold. So you can widen your feet out if you like, and you could sway and move, or you can find stillness, just let everything release, just let it all hang. Your spine will decompress, you might feel a couple of those little pops. You could walk your hands side to side, just allowing yourself to hang. And then from here, we're going to walk the hands back out into down dog. From here, we're going to walk the feet up nice and slow, one step at a time. Feel the stretch along the back of your leg. Pausing. Really getting into those hamstrings. Feeling the sensation of the opening. Then when you get to the top of your mat, you're in a forward fold. Go ahead, inhale, halfway lift, long, flat back. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to a stand. Reach up and stretch. And then exhale, fold all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift, long, flat back. Exhale, fold, and then inhale all the way up. One more time, reach up and stretch. And then this time we're going to grab the left wrist with your right hand, and we're going to take a side bend. So bending over to the right, stretching through the left side. And then coming back up through center, grab the right hand and pull it up and over to the left. And then come back up to center, inhale, reach nice and tall, and exhale, fold all the way down. From here, we're gonna step the left foot back into a low lunge. So I did forget to mention blocks. If you happen to have them, it's really great to be able to extend your arms longer. It basically brings the floor up to you a little bit so you can keep your chest lifted. If you don't have them, you could use books or cushions under your hands, or you could just come down onto your back knee. We're just getting into a nice stretch of the psoas and the front left hip. And then go ahead and keep your right hand down as you raise your left hand up for a twist. Oops, wrong way. Left hand down, raise your right hand up for a twist. I was trying to stay facing the camera. And then bring your hand back down. We're going to pull the hips back to straighten the front leg for pyramid pose.
And if I knew you all had blocks, we could stay here longer, but it's kind of hard to do without blocks. So I'm going to move this right around, pivot to your left, coming into a wide-legged fold. So your feet become parallel, and then you're just going to fold all the way over, letting your head hang. So here you can grab the outsides of your ankles or your feet, or you could just have your hands down underneath your shoulders. And then go ahead and lift your chest, a nice long flat back. Keep your right hand down in the middle under your face. You're gonna lift your left hand up for a twist. And bringing your left hand down, bring your right hand up for a twist. And then bring that back down, pivot back around toward the front and come into a down dog once again. And then we'll move to the other side. So step your left foot forward into low lunge. As most of you know, when anybody ever asks what kind of props will we need for the class, I always say just grab everything. Grab it all so it's available to you. And then if you don't need it, if you don't use it, oh well, you can just put it back. But I forgot to say blocks. Always have your stuff around you. So go ahead here and keep your right hand down. Raise your left hand up for a twist. And then keeping your bring your left hand back down. You're going to pull your hips back and straighten that front leg. So here, if you can, you want to lift and lengthen your chest, lengthening the spine, nice and long. And then you're going to pivot around to your right this time, coming into the wide-legged forward fold. And coming back around to the front of your mat, step back into down dog. And from here, you're gonna look forward, step your right foot. We're gonna come up into a crescent lunge. So it's just like low lunge. You're on the ball of your back foot, but you're just lifting yourself up into the air. You can reach your hands up tall. You can bend your back knee. Try to get that tailbone angling down toward the ground and squaring your hips, pull your right hip back. Feel a nice stretch in your left hip flexor or psoas. Just take a couple big breaths. And then we're going to open up into warrior two, planting that back foot. Finding your way to settle and sink a little lower through the pelvis. And keeping the weight equal between both of your feet. So the front leg doesn't have to do all the work. You don't want to be leaning forward. You want your shoulders above your hips and pressing into your back leg. Flip the front palm and reach back into a peaceful warrior. And then cartwheel your hands to the ground and step back into down dog. And from here, look forward, step your left foot, and coming up into crescent lunge. You know, maybe you take your hands to your hips to help find that neutral pelvis, find the stretch in your right hip flexor, and then you can reach yourself up nice and tall. And then go ahead and open up into warrior two, planting that back foot. And flip your front palm, reach back, stretch. And then cartwheel your hands down and step back into down dog. From here, we're gonna come onto our knees and take a child's pose. Let your hips go back toward your heels. Walk your hands out in front of you. Feel the stretch across the shoulder blade. And then come up from that. We're gonna come all the way onto our backs. And bringing the soles of your feet together, lay on back into Supta Baddha Konasana. So the knees are opening, the hips are opening. And if you have cushions or blocks or something available to put on the outside of your legs, that's always nice too. For the longest time, I always liked to not use support on the outer leg because I got more of a stretch on the inner thigh. But I've recently really enjoyed supporting the leg because it helps release in the hips. So even though it's not so much about the stretch, it's about the release. And having support helps allow the release. And from here, you're gonna go ahead and close up your knees and bring them into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and maybe you just take it side to side. Feel the kidneys of the low back being pressed into the ground. And then from here, grab your feet for happy baby, pulling your knees down toward the ground. And the feet shine up to the ceiling. And press the back of your pelvis, the tailbone, down into the ground. So you have a nice long traction of the spine. And then from here, let go of that and grab the strap if you have one. If you don't have a strap, even a blanket would work, or a towel around your foot. So you're gonna put it around your right foot, extending your right foot up toward the ceiling. And then you can extend your left leg long on the ground. And then nice and active through the legs. So you can press through the foot and you can engage your quadricep muscles so you try to get the leg as straight as you can, even if that means lengthening the strap out and lowering the leg. And then from here, just allow yourself to maybe take a body scan, looking through what is touching the ground, your shoulders, the length of the spine, the pelvis, and see where you can release, letting go of any effort or tension. And send the breath into the back of the leg as the hamstring opens up. And then you're going to open the leg out to the right. So just a little bit, going slowly, just until your left hip starts popping up off the ground. That's where you want to stop. You want to keep your left hip on the ground, your left leg active. And you can always take your left hand out as a counterbalance. And then come back up through center, grabbing the strap with your left hand. You're going to take it over across your body to the right. So you can look over to the right. You can maybe even take your right hand on your right hip and try to gently extend it away from the shoulder. Using your breath here to breathe into the stretch, to release into the stretch. And then come back up through center. And we're going to take the strap off the leg, extending it back onto the ground. And from here, take a nice big full body stretch. Maybe roll your ankles, observe the differences of your legs. And then we'll move to the other side. So taking the strap onto your left foot, extending it up nice and tall. Once again, walking your hands up toward your foot and engaging your quadriceps. So your leg is nice and active, straight as you can. And the rest of your body is relaxed as you can. Focusing on two opposing feelings and allowing them both to exist simultaneously. There's very little that's mutual. Everything always has to exist at the same time. We have to find a way to allow it. So we become relaxed and productive, not stressed because we're busy. Focus on what we're doing for the enjoyment, the deed of doing it, rather than the outcome of doing it. Go ahead and open your leg out to the left, keeping that right leg anchored, that right hip anchored. And then bringing your hand up, your leg up to center, take it across your body over to the right. Trying to keep your left shoulder on the ground so you're also getting here a spinal twist. Coming back up through center, straighten your leg out as best you can and then taking the strap off. Let your legs go long and reach your hands overhead. And from here, pull your knees into your chest. And once again, grab those feet for happy baby. Maybe even rock a little side to side in this position. And then letting go of that. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. Reach down through and grab your left thigh, pulling it in. So from here, you can even rock a little side to side. Maybe notice how if you lean to your left, it intensifies the stretch on your right outer hip. And then letting go of that, we'll switch. Left ankle crosses over right knee, pull it in. If you want to try rocking a little or leaning to your right, you'll get more of a stretch. Otherwise, you can just stay even on your back and try to open your left knee out using your left elbow. That'll help you get a little bit more of a stretch. Or if you're feeling plenty as it is, then just enjoy that sensation. And then go ahead and let go of that. We're gonna come up to a seat, extending your legs out in front of you. And bring your knee in, cross your right leg, your right foot over your left leg. Grab the shin for a little support so you can lift through the chest, nice and tall through the spine. And then we're gonna twist. You're gonna look over to your right, using your left elbow and arm on that right knee for support to help enhance the twist. And then letting go of that, face your legs all the way, keep coming all the way over to the left. Hands come down. And if you want, you can come down onto your elbows. Pull your chest out. Try to lengthen through the spine here. You'll feel a nice, good side stretch. And then come back up the center. And we're gonna extend the right leg back out and cross the left foot over the right leg. Putting your hands around the shins, pull yourself up so you're lifting through the chest. You have a nice long spine. And then we're gonna take that twist over to the left, using your right arm, elbow for support, keeping your spine tall and getting a twist. And then come back through center, keep going all the way over to your right, bring your hands down, walk your elbows down if you can, or as much as you can, and pull that chest forward, trying to keep your spine long as you're getting this side stretch, this nice twist. And then come back up through center. I just wanted to share something real quick before we move into Shavasana. Oftentimes as a teacher, I'm always looking for ways to keep it new and fresh and find new things to do. But as a practitioner, I almost do the same routine every morning. Obviously, I change it as I need it and what I feel. But when I hurt my back last week, it really reminded me to come back to the basics. The basics are there because they work. It's a foundation to keep you limber and flexible. And it's not about always finding fancier ways to do things. It's really more about the consistency of doing it. So if you just wake up in the morning and move your body in those things that we just did, that's what I do. That's pretty much my routine. That you'll feel very good. You'll feel very good. Okay, so let's come down all the way down into Shavasana. So a couple things you could use to help this. If you have that blanket again, go ahead and fold it, giving yourself a pillow under your head. That's always important to get that support for your neck, your cervical spine, cervical curve. If you have a bolster or want to put something under your knees, that's always a nice release for the low back. Otherwise, you can just extend your feet out long. And if you had an extra blanket, scarf, or an eye pillow, it's always nice to cover your eyes to help cover out the external distractions so that you can fully allow yourself to just be. Keeping in mind that Shavasana, there's no goal, there's nothing you're trying to attain here. You're just allowing yourself this brief rest, this brief glimpse into just being, just feeling with what is, a break for the busy mind, and a release of any tension, of any exertion in the body. Just let it all go as you feel supported by the ground underneath you. Shavasana.
Everybody's lying still. Take a nice big breath in. Filling up and open your mouth and sigh it out. Begin to awaken your senses, maybe opening up to sounds in the room or outside. Begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, making some small movements. And then pull your knees in and roll over to your side. And as you're ready, gently press yourself up to a seat. Everybody sitting up nice and tall. Let's take a nice big breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. I thank you all for joining me today. This has been very fun and quite a learning experience for me. I haven't taught virtually yet. And right now I have a lawnmower going outside on my lawn, and it's loud. So it's funny to have all these different circumstances going on at the same time, but I really enjoyed it and hope you did too. So we're going to be doing this every Wednesday for the month of May, and bring whatever props you have and be sure to share any feedback or requests that you have as well. Thank you, Christiane.
Yes, thank you very much. Great class, Annie.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's good to see you all. I wish I could see you all in person.
There's a message here from Christine that had a neighbor dog barking. I'm surprised my dog didn't respond to that, because he typically does, and he's sitting here by my side really quiet, so it's on super behavior, good behavior mode. So yeah, you guys, the same email that I sent that link to you, just send me an email back saying that you are in for next session or any of the ones coming up this month, and we'd love to host you again. We'll see how the recording went. The sound was a little bit rough, but depending on how that went, we'll make sure and pass that on to you guys as well. Okay, And any questions, any last minute questions for Annie or for a CC Yoga? All good?
Oh, good.
So I'm going to close with a little prayer that we like to share at Assisi by Yogananda. And so if you like to close your eyes, join your hands together, it's up to you. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion. And may we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Om peace, shanti, shalom. Amen. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Annie. That was a beautiful practice, as always.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Annie.
Good to see you all. Thank you.